Okay, now this is going to be a very quick one on error. What you should understand in error is that there are some specific things you need to know. What's the definition of error, or what do you understand error to be? It's very important. Deviation from the exact value, or we say the degree of deviation from the true value. Now, the difference between the true value and your calculated value is what we call error. So now, when you know that, you should also know the percentage error. You should know percentage error, meaning that error divided by standard error. And what is your error? Error is true value minus calculated value. Standard error can also be your true value, meaning that something that is true, it is standard. So you get now. So you can, in case your question was given a standard error did not put true value, so that's just what you need to know. Standard error is true value minus calculated value. Why standard error is true value minus calculated value. Standard error is just your true value times 100%. So that's on that aspect first. And how do you get okay, types of error: systematic and random error. Just need to note all this. It could be instrumental observation or adjustment. That's systematic. They follow a regular pattern. Random does not follow a regular, meaning that it follows an irregular pattern. It could be caused by man. It could be an erratic error. So random error can be reduced by repeating the measurement over and over, like having 3 values for your, then you find the average to know that's how you reduce standard error. Now, the one I want you people to focus majorly on is standard error. That's the measurement of random error. Measurement of this random error is want to make people focus is standard error, please. Okay, so now the standard error is what I'll be talking more about. And like I said, standard error question can either be in addition and subtraction, multiplication, or division. So as I was saying, Z here signifies the error. I get it now. And then in every error we have 2 parts, and that's what I want to explain. We have 2 parts. We have the true part and the deviation part. I get it now. The deviation part, or whichever name you want to call it, the error part. Now if like you have 6 plus or minus 0.1, this is the true value, which is the error, which is your true value, and this happens now to be your deviation part. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So now what I just need you to understand here now is that all this in plus or minus or whichever way, your Z, which is your error, if your question is asking for summation, that's to add everything up, summation, a plus b plus c, or whichever one, any value. This could be your a. Your b could be 3 plus or minus 2, 0.2. Your c could be 4 plus or minus 0.3. Now what you just need to understand that the first value here is this your significant value of z, a, b, c. Then here is the error part that you actually need to make use of in this formula. Please just take note. Now I'll still explain better. Now let's go to an example. This is what I'm trying to say. Now look at this example here. First error is a plus or minus 0.1. Error b is 3 plus or minus 0.1, and the question says what is the summation of the first error and the second error. Are you getting now? It could be in any form. Your question can be now they can use the words anyhow, but what you need to just understand there is that okay, they are asking me to add together. So whenever they ask you to add it together, so what you need to do is note that these are your z in your question. So you add, please take note, these are your z in your question, and the errors cannot be subtracted. These are your errors. They cannot be subtracted. They are always added. Please, you can ask it. This is the question. They are always added. You will always be adding them. Even if your question is saying find a minus b, at this point where you use this formula, it is still going to be addition. Don't worry, I'm still going to explain more on it. Now for this your true values, now you just you add them together because the question is looking for addition and it's an addition question. So you add them together. 6 plus 3, 9. That one will be on one side. That's 9 plus plus or minus, you mean your error part. Now for the error part, now you now make use of that formula I gave you before, which is delta z equals to open bracket delta a square plus delta b square. Now, and like I said, this a here is for the error part. Error part of a is what? 0.1. Error part of b is what? Is also 0.1. So you now do 0.1 square plus 0.1 square. Then you just solve normally. That's 0.02. Then the root is 0.14. So now this is your true part and this is your error part in standard error approach. So that's just it. It's very simple as that. Now if you're having subtraction as well, maybe you ask the question is asking you to subtract. This is how you go about it. You would this first part, which is your true part, is what you subtract. I get it now. You subtract this one. Then when it now goes to the error part where you use this formula, this formula I gave you, where you use this formula, you will still add here. As I said, error cannot be subtracted, it can only be added. So it's going to be addition here. Everything here will be addition. Whenever you're using this formula, everything will be addition. It's only this part you subtract or you add or you multiply or you do whatsoever thing they ask you to do. So please take note. Now that's it. So for the error part of a, which is 0.2 square, plus error part of b, 0.3 square. So then you just solve with your calculator or whatsoever. So you have 0.36. Now 9 minus 6 is 3. So our final answer is 3 plus or minus 0.36. So meaning this is the true part, this is the error part. I get him now. Please take note, error cannot be subtracted, it can only be added. This is the error, this is the error part, this is the error part. I get him now. So please take note. So now let me quickly explain the multiplication and division aspect of it. Multiplication and division aspect. So now for the multiplication and division, you see, using standard error approach, this is the question, this is division, this is multiplication. Now so we know when we have dots here and when we have divide here. Now in the case whereby this is just a representation of your question, this is your question. So now this is what you want to work with. I will get it now. Don't forget, this is your true value part and this is your error part. So you get now, this is our error part, this is our true value part. Now how do we solve when it comes to division of error? Or maybe your question is actually asking you to divide x and a or a and b. whichever one. If it's A and B, maybe your error is asking you to divide, your question is asking you to divide, and you should solve using standard error approach. This is just what you would do. Firstly, the first value, this is the error part, you divide them normally. These ones you divide them normally. That will be 3 divided by 3. So you have now this is the formula you asked to use, because normally you are supposed to divide them. What you just do is x is 3, a is 3 square. So you use this formula that was given for that division, or what you just substitute 3 here, substitute the second value here. So that's what you do here. Then you get your real value. This is the real value. Now remain the error aspect, or the error value of it. Now in this error value of it, now your true value is also going to be used here. This is the formula. You know that time I said we can use z, whichever one, because here they gave us p, so here we can use z, because here they give us p, so we can also use our distance as delta p here. So the formula is n open bracket x over x squared plus n delta, the second value over. So now from here you can see all what I explained. Now the n is the power of the x. What is x having? Maybe let's say 1. It's not having any power, but let's just say it's 1. What is delta x? Delta x happens to be your what? Error of x. Error of x is what? 0.2. Then what is your true value of x? Your true value of x is what? This one, 3. I explained before. So you go to the second one, n power of a, which is under a. N power of a is what? 3. So you get from the question. Then delta a, which is the error part of a, is 0. Okay, still 0.2. Then a itself, the true value of a is 3. So you get now. So what you just need to just input it just like this, and finally don't forget this part, multiplied by this value you just got, multiplied by this value you just got. So you must don't forget this thing. It's very important. Multiply by this value, don't forget. So when you do this, you multiply by this, then you get your answer. So the value will now be the real value, and the final answer will now be 0.111 of this one. You first of all get using the main formula, and then 0.023, which is the error part formula you use. The answer you get your error formula, then just put your unit. That's all. Do you get that now? So that's for division aspect using standard error. Maybe your question is asked, or something is pertaining to division. Your question was asking you to divide the first error given error by the second given error. This is the formula you use. Then when it now comes to multiply the first error with the second error, or multiply error a times error b, or multiply error a times error b, anyhow they put it, right? You know this one is x and a, so whichever one. So let me explain on that aspect of it, of multiplication. Now for the aspect of multiplication, I've explained a lot of things. Now what I just need to just give you the formula, and now this is the formula from the question for the true value. What you just need to do, pick up your true values. This is our true value for a and b. This is our true value for a and b. So follow this given formula first. That's 3 times 3 cubed, and then we get 81. This is the first answer first. You know, you're still going to join it together. Then you now go to the formula for multiplication. Now formula for multiplication is also the same. The formula for multiplication is also the same. The only thing there is just that your p will be different, because that p, you know, the former p we used was 0.11 when we divided, but this one is multiplication, so this p will just be different. It will just be different. This part will be the same. I hope somebody is getting what I'm saying now. This part will be the same. It's only this p, because the p we are using is p for multiplication. So you get the p that I will use that time was p for addition. Now the P for this one is P for multiplication. So it's only this P that will change the answer. Are you getting now? Is this P that will actually change your answer. So from here now, I think I've explained this one. This is the power of x. The power of x is not having power, so it's 1. 0.2 is the error of x. Error of x is 0.2. Then this is the value of x, main 3. Power of a is 3. This is the power, this one here. Then error of a is 0.2. Then the real value of a is 3. This one. So that's just input. It's only your p that we get here. The true value on the calculation that will determine our value. So please just take note. This value here, this our error, this our true part in our multiplication or division. We actually determine your the error part in your question, in your calculation. This one in their former question was 0.01, but here it was 81. So this will determine what this will be. So you get, and you then add the two, or you join the two together, this value here and this value here, then will give you the answer to your overall answer to your question. So that's just it. It's very simple. There's no big deal there. All I just need you to know this formula very well. Maybe the question comes in multiplication, or it comes in addition, or it comes in subtraction, or it comes in addition, whichever one. So now finally I would explain, or just give you a question, or an example on standard deviation and significant for a significant figure. Now for significant figure, please take note. For significant figures, if you have 0.0143 and you have 1.043, now the 0 here is not significant, but the 0 here is significant because there's a number in between. So if I ask you what are the significant figures in this question, the significant figures in this question are just 3. The significant figure in this question are 4. These are the 1, 2, 3, 4. But here, this one is not significant, this one is not significant, this one is 1, 2, 3. I get it now. I just chip in this because I need you to understand that 0 has effect when there's no number in front of it, but when there's a number in front of it, it becomes significant. Just take note. It's very, very simple. Even if you have 1.00003, it is still significant. This one is still significant. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have here, you have 6 significant figure. Do we get that now? So we have 6. So but if we have 0, let's say the question is now 0.0000013, the significant figure here is just 2 significant figure. Why? Because all these zeros are nothing, so just 1, 2. I get it now. But if they come before something, it becomes significant. Do you get that now? So now finally let me explain what I want to explain on standard deviation and range. Now if you are given, this is the formula for standard deviation. Please just take note. This is the formula, and this is the question pertaining to it. You have 20 oscillations, and because it is an erratic error, it is an erratic form of error caused by human being. So how do you correct it? You do multiple experiments. So the number of experiments done here is 5. I will get in that, and you just follow this formula. The highest one, which is the range, minus the lowest one, which is 4 1. So you subtract them, then over the number of experiments, so you get your answer. So this is standard error. Please take notes. Standard deviation, standard error, very very important. Their formulas looks alike, but the difference is obvious here. So this is just what you need to do. One, you square root the number of experiment. One, you don't square root the number of experiment. So you just follow this principle, you get it. So it's just very 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 simple like that. Just very very simple like that. So that's what you need to do. Then now you are actually looking for mean, median, and mode, or whichever one, or percentage error. Please, I will just take some little explanation to percentage. You are given a question. This is your true value. This is your calculated value, or whichever one, or your deviation value, or whichever one. So this is your true value. What you just need to do for percentage error is that this is your true value, subtract it from this first to get your error. You know the formula is error all over true or standard value times 100. So you first forget this first. This is be your error, then this is your standard value, this is also then you get your answer. Now for this one, now if you look at this question, it's a different question but it's similar. This one, this is our standard value, our true value. Now this is our error value. They've already calculated it for us. This is our change in error value. Now this one now, we are going to calculate our error value here, but here they've calculated it for us. In case you see questions like that already calculated error, what you just need to just put it inside, and this one too, just input it, then you get your answer. That's all on that aspect. So for maximum error, I would just give the formula. So far I've explained, but don't really, I'll just give you the formula. So this is for maximum error, maximum error, both addition and the subtraction. This is for maximum error. Can you see it? ME, maximum error, ME. So all the explanation of process still remains the same. So division of maximum error, this division and multiplication of maximum error still almost the same. Are you getting now? It's just your z, it's just this z here that will change as well. So please, that's just all. Just try as much as possible to study that standard error very very well. Study your standard error very very well, please. Percentage error, study it very well. Standard error, standard deviation, study it very well. Percentage error, how to standard deviation. So study everything, like I said, very well. Study everything, and don't forget your metric prefixes, please and please. Study light, study lens, refraction of light. When light passes from a dense, does it goes from a dense medium into the water to from, this is what I'm trying to say, from air into glass and into water. How does it move? Water. See, this is glass, this is air, this is glass, and this is water. So how does it move? Does it move from a dense medium to a less dense medium, or does it move from a denser medium to a less denser medium? Please just study all those things on please put to class today. Magnetic properties, know them. Magnetic properties, know them, please. Very very important. How you demagnetize, how you magnetize, how magnets can be formed, all those things. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe. Always please share, like, and comment. Thank you very much.